And now it's time for this week's Real Estate Real Talk. So a few weeks back, we kind of take a look at some of the interior design trends that were kind of on their way out. So this week, we thought we'd look at the styles and the designs that are on the rise. So joining me right now to discuss all of this is Los Angeles real estate agent Carrie White. Hey, Carrie.
Good morning. Let's talk about what's hot, right?
Okay, so let's start with color. First thing we're going to talk about right now is gray. It has taken over the last few years, but that may not be the case going forward, right?
Good point. Yes, gray is trending downward, especially in high-end design, but it'll still be used commonly with builders and contractors just because it's easy. But if you want to stay ahead and impress all your friends, I would stay away from gray paint altogether. It did dominate 2021 and everybody's looking for something fresh and new. But right now, it's gone to really bold colors, rich, earthy. It's really dominating the design scene. A lot of browns, neutrals, rust, terracotta. So have some fun with it if you're looking to design your space.
Now, what would you say is too bright or too much? Because those seem somewhere in the neutral of the colors.
Right. So we did have a lot of bright, let's say, primary colors. So we're definitely trending away from that. A lot of the lighter greens or blues. So look at really like deep colors. We've got this modern organic, which is taking over most of this modern farmhouse. When we spoke about this last week, I actually got a lot of questions. People were very upset to hear that the modern farmhouse was going out of style and all the white and gray. So we've definitely had a little surprise there, but you can't help the designers.
Carrie, that was the biggest feedback
trends
that we got. People disappointed in their modern farmhouse going away. All right, so let's talk about wall decor now. What is in when it comes to wall decorations?
Well, this is great because shiplap still is in some ways. People are tired of seeing it over and over again. It looks like the floor is on their ceiling, but we're seeing shiplap in the more vertical sense. So you can see a vertical design of that, or we're seeing people layer with a simple design of any type of vertical pattern, any type of materials. And we're also seeing vertical weaving, vertical wallpaper, even vertical slats, which is great. People are even doing large pieces of vertical art that are hung or pieces of wallpaper, and we're also seeing a little bit of that exposed bricks start to go out. Even this weekend, I was touring with some clients and they were all talking about the exposed brick. So I think even different patterns of this exposed brick is going to start to trend, but you can never go wrong with some beautiful white brick. It's like that Rick Caruso exposed, timeless Nantucket, even Southern charm. So we're still seeing that woven into design right now.
Okay, and one of the things that we also talked about last week when it came to minimalism, there was an article that declared minimalism is out, but that may not be the case.
Right. So it's the way we shape it, I guess. Minimalism is in the monochromatic sense is out, the perfect all white house with very few pieces. But what is in with minimalism is the less is more. So people are taking out a lot of the stuff in their house. You've seen shelves with lots of trinkets on it, or the mantle in the fireplace. People are sticking to really one or two things or getting rid of tons of photos on the walls. So that's the minimalism that we're seeing. They're in their spaces more, so they have some more time to go through and clean things out.
All right, and then the other thing, and this last point here, is that it seems like everything is just moving faster since the pandemic. How long would you say that these interior design trends actually or typically last?
Right. Well, that is something good to look at because people with this modern farmhouse were freaking out a couple weeks ago with this new update. But the thing is, you can really swap in some neutral pieces to keep up with the trends. But in all reality, things come back every 7 to 10 years. We're seeing it a little bit shorter right now. People are getting antsy, but really every 10 years, things start to come in and out. I'm not looking forward to that brown granite coming back in, but who knows? It's got a little 70s punch to it. But just as a rule of thumb, keep the main pieces in your house very neutral because you can spice them up with pillows and art and rugs. And, watch the fashion trends. What's happening out there is happening in our living rooms as well. Think Mad Men and the mid-century designs, and keep up with where you are. You can get away with a little more coastal vibes near the beach or a little bit more southern vibes. Depending on where you are. And, just keep up with what you're seeing on your Pinterest and what people are pinning, because that really is the latest. People like to move with the trends. So we just like to report on them here and make sure everybody knows what to look for.
Some very simple and straightforward tips for if you are going to maybe add a little flair, or in some cases, in the minimalism case, take a little away. Los Angeles real estate agent Carrie White, we thanks as always. Thank you for your insight and your tips. This market is certainly crazy, so it's good to have her around. And in the meantime, you can go to Instagram. That's going to be at Carrie Ann, and then on YouTube, that's Carrie White Real Estate. We'll see you next week.